Today we got the review on the Ames Sports Triple Illuminated Tactical Combat Scope. Hope you enjoyed the video. Starting off with what you get with the Ames Sports ACOG scope, you have an Allen wrench. It will come with 2 batteries, one I've already installed into the scope itself, a lens cloth which can always come in handy out on those humid days on the field, and then the final thing that comes with the scope is somewhat of an instruction manual, which really only goes over features and specifications of the scope itself. But the nice thing is that it shows a different variation of the scope here at the top, which only has 2 different color reticles, but it has the nice rear sight and fiber optic front sight and side rails instead of just the top rail. Now finally to the scope itself. The first thing that probably pops out to you is this Ames Sports logo. Really nice, it's just probably painted on, nothing special, but it's a nice touch to any scope. The first thing that probably pops out to you is this Ames Sports logo. Really nice, it's just probably painted on, nothing special, but it's a nice touch to any scope. Right above the trades of this scope, we have the top rail, which is one of the main features of the scope itself. Being that the other version already had the rear sights integrated, I'd probably choose this over that one. Number one, the top rail on the scope gives you the option of putting on a doctor sight, or probably what I would do, I would put some type of small gun cam up here. As an example, the Tachyon Ops SD and the Tachyon Ops HD. They'd fit up here perfectly without getting in the way of your side knobs, and they're quite relatively light, even with their gun cam mounts being metal. So overall, the top rail on this scope gives you a lot of options that any other scope probably wouldn't give you. The mounting knobs on this ACOG type scope is fairly easy to work with. They're really loose, but they're pretty standard at the same time. As you can see, barely spinning them makes them come off fairly easy, so be careful when putting this scope on and off of any Weaver or Picatinny rail system. I have to say so for myself though, this Ames Sports ACOG is pretty balanced out as far as weight. It is completely constructed of metal, and there is the minor flaws here and there, as in the side piece right here having these little holes and these little mishaps. It's kind of ugly for the scope, but it's something I can get over. I'm not much of a fashionista myself when it comes to airsoft, but that might bother a couple people considering you would be spending $139 for the scope. Moving on to the adjustability of the scope here, this side screw that we see on the right side of the scope is adjustability for windage, and then on top we have our elevation adjustment. Taking a closer look at our adjustment knobs here, as you see with a flathead design, any simple tool would work, especially a dime. Turning the side knob left or counterclockwise will move the reticles to the left. Turning it clockwise or to the right will change it to the right. Moving to the top adjustment knob, turning it counterclockwise or to the left will make the reticle go up, and turning it to the right or clockwise will make it go down. A nice attention to detail, as you can see on the ACOG. On the inside of the sunshade here, we have the threads for what could either be a kill flash or a lens protector. So it's always nice to see, especially for the price of the scope, to have something like lens threads there for those other options. Moving on to the battery compartment, all you gotta do is get that same flathead tool or the dime that we used earlier, put it into our top adjustment knob, and twist it off to the left to reveal our battery compartment. We have our simple button type battery, in particular the CR2032. All you gotta do is put that in upside down, put the top back on, and you've got at least 6 hours of battery life. As I've probably already stated in this review, this is a triple illuminated scope, or a scope with 3 different color illuminations. Starting off here, as you can see marked by the R, we have red and 3 different levels. We have green, and of course 3 different levels for green. And then our final color is blue, which is my personal favorite, and 3 different levels. Okay, let's get a little close up here and see what these colors look like. As you see, here's our blue. Stands out rather nicely, and the crosshairs for all 3 are the same. They are very simple and they're very low profile. That way you can still see them even in the daylight, but they stay out of the way of what you're shooting at. That way it doesn't distort the image at all, and you know you're going to hit where you're shooting at if your gun is clocked in right. Moving on to red. showing you a difference in levels. That is 1, that is 2, and that is 3. So definite change in magnification. And then go into our final color, green. A lot of people probably like green over red, but I prefer blue over green. So, and showing you the different magnifications. And of course it's distorted when I'm holding it to the side, but when I'm holding it exactly down, you see it perfectly. Okay guys, in conclusion, the AIM Sports Tactical Triple Illuminated Compact Scope is a really nice piece. Yeah, it has a couple of flaws, mostly concerning the build quality of the externals. It really doesn't affect the function at all. It's just really aesthetics. But besides that, a really nice scope. You got the features of the top rail. You got the the ability to have no illumination or 3 different colors of illumination. So that's always nice to see in a sight, especially for its price range of $139.99. If you are interested in buying this scope, go to airsoftstation.com. I will have a link in the description, and as always, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. Okay guys, this has been a What You Looking At production.